Okay, I'm going to call this special meeting of the Board of Equalization to order. Today is Wednesday, March 26, 2025. It is 9:30 a.m. We have a quorum, Mr. Brett Town.
Present.
And I'm Eleanor Thompson. And notice of this meeting was properly posted on March 24th. And today we have 7 items on the agenda. The first one is BOE number 12, Mark Inman and Terry L. Trust. Are you here for that? Or come forward. Have you ever appeared in front of us before?
Not this formally.
Come on, have a seat. Okay. Here's how we do this. You tried to work this out, I guess, with the assessor and couldn't reach an agreement on valuation. So it's going to be up to us to decide what the proper fair market value is of your property. I understand it is 2301 Northeast 131st Street. The residential number is 2001 31,000. The assessor has valued your property at 1,535,500. You would rather have it valued at 1,250,000. And I understand the basic problem is you don't like the comps. So we're going to hear from you. Then we'll hear from the assessor. We will give you the last word. Anything you want us to consider has to be something that you gave to them, because this is an appellate body. You're appealing their decision. Okay. And then we don't decide today. Friday is our decision day. And after we set the valuation on everything we've heard this week, you'll get a notice in the mail. So probably Monday or Tuesday.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll hear from you.
Okay. So using the county assessor's data, a couple of points.
Okay.
The 2 comparables.
Yes.
One of them, my next door neighbor, house sold last year, and it was completely remodeled. And it is 30% smaller than my house. So it's going to have a higher value on a per square foot basis because it's smaller, and it also was remodeled. My house needs to be remodeled. We're facing about $200,000 to go in and paint it, update it. So we don't have those issues. We don't have the blessing of this comp in that it's been completely remodeled, and that's why it sold for a pretty high value when almost 2 years ago it sold for a lot less than just recently sold for. So because it was remodeled. So the other comp is a little bit newer house, smaller house, about 12% smaller. It's more of a modern type. It doesn't have to be remodeled and updated as often. So, I guess I disagree on that one as well. My house is quite a bit bigger on a per square foot basis. So usually those houses sell a little bit less on a per square foot basis. And I'm facing, again, about $200,000 to go in and update it to make it comparable to these 2 comparables. We look alternatively at selling the house instead of remodeling it. The estimates we've gotten from 2 brokers were in the $1 million to $1,250,000 range from Shelby Cummings at Keller Williams and Wyatt Poindexter. If we can get probably $1.4 million if we remodel, is what we were told. So those are some points. Here.
How long have you been in your house?
Since 2007.
Oh, quite.
So yeah, it's been.
And what was your valuation last year?
I don't. Well, it's a 73% increase from last year to this year for the market value. So it's.
Do you mind if I ask the assessor's office? They have a 2024 value.
1,056,000 in 2024.
That was the market value.
Yes.
It's just the first time you've appealed.
I've appealed it at the county assessor level before, but not here.
Okay, we hear from the assessor.
Okay. The 2301 Northeast 131st Street, our location here is going to be East Memorial Road and Northeastern Avenue. The square footage of the subject property is 5,402 square feet. So this is a tricky one to find comps for, because if you go outside of this neighborhood, this gated neighborhood, you're not going to find comparables.
What's the name of the neighborhood?
Ashford Hills. So it's a gated area. It's got 19 homes in it.
Between Bryant and, here's the map.
Yeah, you got the turnpike right below.
In Eastern, okay.
Yep.
Directly across the highway is a similar neighborhood, Oakdale Farms.
Is this sitting, what's the lot size? Is this sitting on an acre?
On this one,
1 acre.
1 acre.
1 acre. Yeah, so we have not had, he's actually brought it up. We had one sale in 21, but it was one of the, it's comp one that just resold and was remodeled. So besides those sales until now, we haven't had any sales since 2019. So when I look at these two sales that we have, they're quite a bit smaller, selling for 1.2. This is before adjustments. The smallest one, the 4,100 square foot house, it's sold for $1.2 million. That's before any adjustments. And then the other one, and agree, it was remodeled. We have it as a 35% remodel. That doesn't mean a whole lot to y'all. But again, sold for 1.3, and it's 600 square feet smaller than the subject. Now, once you take into consideration all of the adjustments, they're coming in about 1.5, which is what he's on for. We had, out of the 19, we had 11 of these protests this year because the HOA emailed all the residents and told them their taxes were going up 40%, which was incorrect. The values did increase, and it's because of the two sales that happened in 24. So I've worked several of these. That's why I know that. And I thought that would, help in this case. But all the comps were in this gated neighborhood. And that's really all I have on this one, unless there's any other questions from you guys.
Do you understand how he makes his adjustments based on the site? Because you're not saying that he cannot use a house unless it is almost identical to yours in square footage. You understand he can make adjustments.
Right.
There's a calculated adjustment.
And that's my question is, I'm, 30% larger than one of these comps. Where is the adjustment for that?
Yeah.
Yes.
So these percentages right here, 16%, all these right here are the adjustments that we're making to make this comp like yours.
So my assessment is a $1,575,000. What is it?
The exact number can 1,535,500.
Market,
Yeah, market value.
not
So
assisted.
divided by square footage of
5,402.
5402. $284 a foot.
And then your comps, once they're adjusted,
The comps are $294 a foot and $269 a foot. And I'm significantly larger than both of these, so I think there needs to be a more significant adjustment. And the truth is, I can't sell it for $1,530,000. I'd love to sell it for $1,530,000.
Or
I
are
can
you
sell it for
surprised that the
$1,250,000.
smaller ones sold for as much as they did?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, those are well, we did have a bigger sale 5 or 6 years ago, but I'm a little bit surprised. 'Cause one of them just sold for $880,000 2 years ago.
right? Yeah,
And
that
now
was
it
comp.
got remodeled and it went up to a higher price. So yes, I am surprised. I'm just trying to get at the price that I think I can sell it for. Yeah, I think that number is $1,250,000, $1,300,000. based upon what I have to do in my house and comparing it to these houses.
And you're not worried about the tax, because, we don't concern ourselves with the tax.
Well,
That's
long
not,
term,
that's not our issue.
I am worried about the tax long term because, the market value they set it at allows them to increase it 5% per year until they get to that. And so that is an ultimate
Now,
concern.
there's a difference between the fair market value and the taxable value. They're not always the same. We don't concern, this board does not concern itself with the tax.
They're able to increase the taxable value until they get to the market value by 5% per year, which is a concern.
You said 5%, it should be 3%.
Or is it 3%?
3% with
Homestead.
savings.
Okay, which is what I have. But I've been in commercial real estate for 25 years. This is residential is not my day job, but I do a lot of residential or commercial. I'm a real estate broker at CBRE. And as an example, I got an assessment increase on a commercial property we have in the Britain district. It went way up. I looked at the details. There's a little bit of remodel there that was done. I didn't like it, but hey, it made sense. This doesn't make sense because I just can't sell it for the assessed value.
Have you tried?
We've talked to two realtors about selling it instead of remodeling it. So yes, no, we haven't put it on the market.
Right.
We've just talked to two realtors about the value. Both of them told us in the 1.25 range.
You purchased for how much in 2007?
We built it. Probably spent around $950,000 back in 06, 07.
You said the homeowners association put out a notice that everyone was going to receive a 40% based on.
So the email I got, it was not from his hearing. It was from a different one that I did. They sent the email that said out that it was 40% increase on their taxes, which was not correct. It was the market value did go up about 40%.
Just based on the two sales that they've had.
Yes.
Over the last 5 or 6 years.
Right, because we haven't had any since, again, we had to kick out the one in 21 because it was remodeled. So we haven't had any since 2019.
Has the assessor's office been undershooting the value of these houses for all those years since there wasn't any?
Kind of looks like it because there were small amounts. Like, for example, in 23, this house, the subject house, was $943,000. It went up a little bit in 24 to $1,056,000. Then we had these two sales that solidify the 1.5.
I think the answer is yes. Could be a little bit, except those that are dated.
Because in 23 we had a at least a double digit valuation increase across the county average.
Right.
This is a very nice neighborhood. I mean, you can't even get in the neighborhood to look at a house. They have one small gate off of Eastern, kind of a little bit off the road, about 50 feet. Can't even get into the neighborhood that backs up to the area.
Right.
My pastor lives in there, I know. Marty.
Yeah, he's my neighbor across the street.
Okay.
I'm not looking to, there's an increase here. I think it is justified. I just don't agree with the percentage of increase. It doesn't.
That is a pretty big increase.
Okay. We will take your argument into consideration on Friday.
Okay. Very much
Thank
appreciated.
you. Sure.
You and I spoke on the phone, didn't we?
No, I did not talk.
Was it not you? Okay. I didn't know who I talked to.
Actually, I don't even remember.
Thanks for coming.
Oh, yeah, you bet.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Sure.
Have a good day.
So we're going to close the hearing on BOE number 12. And you want to come forward to do the rest of them. The next one is BOE number 13, which is resident number 1978 41 29 5. This is 14438 Norton Lane. The assessor has the valuation set at $193,000, and the property owner, based on the $1,000 rent each month, would like to have us set the valuation at flat $100,000. And if you have the a different argument than you made to us yesterday, go ahead. If not, we understand that your argument is that we should set the value based upon the rent, 1% of the, whatever the rent is, should be 1% of the
Thanks for hearing my protest. I don't have a different argument, if you so to speak, but I'd like to see, add substance to the same position I'm taking. And if the properties were offered for sale,
Yes.
chance to, in this location, they would probably be, continue to be tenant occupied. And that being said, an investor certainly could not pay what the county has assessed at or valued at now, because it couldn't sustain or couldn't receive that much rent. And it's a business model to try to get 1% of the value per month. And like I said, in this particular area, there's no way we could get 1% of the valuation that the county has assessed them at. I have sold some rental property in the past, but I did not sell them to tenant occupied buyers. The property was sold to investors, and like I say, this is primarily this area is tenant occupied. And I don't have any owner occupants in this area. And I can understand the valuation that the county has put on them would probably be close if it were owner occupied, but they're not. So that's
You're thinking there never will be?
well, I own them all. Until I sell them all, well, there's 3 blocks that I own there.
Okay. Let me hear from the assessor on BOE number 13.
14438 Norton Lane is located up Northeast 23rd in North Hinney. Square footage on this one is 1,188. The current value is 193,000, which is actually down from last year. Last year we had this one at 200,500, and 23 we actually had at 203,500. So it's actually gone down the last 2 years. All 6 comps are in 2024. Median 195,615, and the mean 186,422.
So you're up from the mean and down from the mean.
Flip. But yes, you're right. I was thinking backwards. Yep.
Okay. We're going to close BOE number 13 and open BOE number 14, which is R 1978 41055. Address 3131 Epi Drive. The assessor began with a valuation of 105,500 and lowered it to 100,980. And the property owner would like to have it set at 95,000. Okay. Is the rent on this one $950? Okay.
This is the closest one that I've seen so far.
So, but that they came down to 100 and you're at 95, you mean?
It's close.
Okay. I'll hear from the assessor.
So I'm actually, I have a new value that I could recommend.
Okay.
I can recommend 96,700. After taking a second look at it, we only used 3 sales. That's all we could find.
Yes.
Using the median on this one, it's kind of hard to do because it's just going to pick the middle one. So I'm going more along with the mean on this one.
What was give me your median and mean.
Median was 100,980, which we did lower it to. The mean is 96,749. But I'm more acceptable. I think it's more to do the mean on this one of 96,700.
Even?
96,700, yes. But that's what I'm recommending,
Okay.
just to take off the
Okay.
49.
Gotcha. Would you accept the valuation of 96,700?
That's
Okay. I'll entertain a motion to set the fair market value of BOE number 14 at 96,700.
So moved.
And I second. How do you vote, Mr.?
Oh, yes.
I vote yes. All right. So that one, for 14 doesn't need to show up on Friday since we said it. Okay. Closing 14 and going to BOE number 15. 2612 North Harbor. Residential number 1979-42805. Property owner asks for valuation of 57,500. The assessor has it at 130,500. It's $575 in rent. Let me just hear from the assessor on this.
And we're on 2612 North Harbor, right?
Yes.
We noticed this one at 130,500. We did not change this one. The property is 996 square feet. The 24 value was 121,500, and 23 was 111,000.
Okay.
All 6 columns we used were in 24, and we did have to expand this search a little bit farther because of the size of this one. So we went out 5 miles. Median is 147,514, and a mean of 139,511. Both are higher than what we currently have them on for. So that's why we were unable to change this value.
All right. I'm going to close BOE number 15 and open BOE number 16. Resident number 1979-42229. This is 2700 North Harbor. The property owner would like to have a valuation of 95,000, and the assessor has it at 177 even. So I take it the rental on this is $950.
yes, ma'am.
Okay. I hear from the assessor.
2700 North Harbor is also off Northeast 23rd and Choctaw Road. As you stated, current value is 177,000. The 24 value is 170,000. 23 was 154,000. Square footage of this property is 1,050 square feet. All 6 comps we used were in 24. We went out 2.5 miles to find comps. Median was coming in at 179,736, with a mean of 179,121. But both slightly higher than the current value.
Okay. I guess you're too far apart to try to compromise on that. What is the most that you would be willing to set the valuation of this 2700 North Harbor? Are you willing to go up at all over the 95,000?
Well, I would listen to a proposal. I haven't heard one yet.
Well, the assessor is well below his median and mean, so I guess we won't move on that one. I'll close BOE number 16 and open BOE number 17. Which is right next door, 2702 North Harbor, resident number 1979-482-230. The property owner is requesting a valuation of 100,000 even. The assessor has it at 147. So we'll hear from the assessor.
All right. The property at 2702 square footage is 1,100. Currently is on for 147,000. Last year was 140, and then 23 was 130. All 6 comps are in 24. Median and mean are both above the current value. Median is 151,700 and a mean of 150,055.
Okay. Okay, so you're well below both of them. Okay. We'll close 17 and go to the last one, which is BOE number 18. 3186 Effie Drive, resident number 1978, 41145. The property owner would like to have it evaluation set at a flat 50,000. The assessor has this at 109,000. So we hear from the assessor.
All right. The square footage on this subject property is at 1,046. Current is 109,000, like you stated. Last year, this is actually lowered here at the board to 94,000. Before the board, we had it on for 100,500. 23's value was 103,000. This one again, we only use 3 comps, but my mean and my median are both higher than the current value. So I would be able to adjust on that. Median 123,327. Mean 114,711.
I take it you guys are too far apart for this one, and he's 109 is well below the 123 and the 114. So we lowered it last year 6,000 or 5,500 to 94.
Yes.
Okay. If there's nothing further, I'm going to close BOE number 18 and just remind you that we're going to make our decision on Friday. Of all of this.
What your decision include Mondays?
Yes, everything that we do during the week, we set it for Friday. Okay. You'll receive notice by mail.
Monday.
Yes.
And how much time do I have to appeal?
I don't know. You mean to the court? I don't know.
I guess it-
Okay. All right. I'll entertain if there's nothing further. I'll entertain.
Move to adjourn.
Second. All in favor? Aye.
Thank you.
You're welcome.